Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be comparing the all-new 2020 Ram 1500 Limited to a 2020 Ford F-150 Platinum. So, as always, we're going to do a quick walk around from truck to truck, comparing both of them, and then we're going to sum things up with which one I think is the better route to go. A big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah, for providing us with the Ford. Check out their inventory in the link below. And then Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Provo for providing us with the Ram 1500. Check out their inventory in the link below as well. Now let's go over power outputs on both of them. Let's start over at the F-150. So under the hood here, we've got a twin turbocharged V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 22 on the highway. Power outputs are 375 horsepower and then 470 pound-feet of torque. Now, going over to the Ram, we have a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter Hemi. Power outputs are 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque. 8-speed automatic transmission is what this goes through. And then fuel economy numbers are 15 around town and then 21 on the highway. Let's go over things on the front end stylistically, and again, let's start with the F-150. So at the top of the hood here, you can kind of see they've got these two little bulges right there on the top of the hood. Full LED lights with the LED accent lights that go around, and then you've got kind of what I call more of like a satin chrome finish on the front with the chrome accenting. Fog lamps down below. You've got your tow hooks. There are parking sensors for the front as well. Other than that, things are pretty simple in the front. Oh, also obviously Ford badging. Now over onto the Ram 1500. You can see the hood setup's a little bit different. This part of the hood is lower, whereas this part of the hood right here in the middle is the raised part on the hood. LED projector light bulbs with the little LED accent lights that go just around those, and then you can kind of see again they go for kind of like more of like a satin finish on the chrome right here, whereas this is kind of like just high gloss chrome at the bottom. Still get tow hooks, parking sensors as well, and then you can actually see the camera right there in the center that goes with the 360 camera system. Now let's go over the tire and rim setup by checking out the Ford. So we've got 20-inch rims, 275mm tires, and this truck has the FX4 package, so you can see you've got a little bit more aggressive tires on the Platinum. Now over the Ram, 20-inch rims, 275mm tires, and this one has the off-road package, so you can see a little bit more aggressive on the tires as well. So both of these are kind of like the off-road luxury variants on either truck. Now on the side here, let's actually walk down so you can see that you've got the F-150 Platinum badging right there, whereas you've got 5.7 Hemi badging right here, Ram Limited just down below, so it's got that full accenting down there. On the Ford, there's nothing that goes down this side. Chrome mirrors on both of them. Both of them are power folding mirrors. Both of them have blind spot monitoring, and let's head to the back. So here's a key fob for the Ford. It says Ford on the back. You got a couple functions, your lock and unlock, remote start, and your tailgate release. So if we lock the truck, press the remote start function twice, it'll start right up. You hear that twin turbo V6 come to life. And then if you press it again, it'll shut it right off. And then the other function is the tailgate release. So press that button twice and then it'll slow lower down the tailgate. You can see this one does not have a bed liner. You can get spray and bed liner if you want. LED lights here in the bed. Got your cargo light just up above. And then the Fords all come with the bed step. Well, they don't all come with it, but you can get the bed step optioned out. So you can see right here, you can pull down this little bed step and then you can pull up that handle, so it makes getting in and out of the bed a whole lot easier because you basically just step up this into the bed. And when you want to put it away, you just got to put it like that. And then finally, let's lift up the tailgate. You can see it goes into place really easy. The tailgate is pretty heavy with that bed step, that being said. Here's the key fob for the Ram. It says limited on the back. You have a couple functions, your lock and unlock, remote start, tailgate release, and the air suspension lowering system. So if we press the remote start button twice, first time we'll lock it, second time we'll start it right up. You'll hear that 5.7 liter Hemi come to life. And then if you press it again, that'll shut it off. Obviously, if we press the tailgate button twice, that'll slow lower down the tailgate. Now, Limited's actually come standard with the bed liner, but this one has it deleted. Obviously, that saves on cost just a little bit. LED bed lights in here. Again, cargo light in the back. And then there is no bed step or anything like that, so you can lift up the tailgate, and this tailgate is significantly lighter. Now let's finish by going over the stylistic things in the rear. F-Series first. So, see it says Platinum on the back, F-150. It says Ford EcoBoost right down there. You've got parking sensors here in the rear of the bumper, receiver hitch. Got all your plugins for towing as well. Obviously backup cameras right there. Full LED lights in the rear, so they kind of have this little thing where they wrap up and around. back there. FX4 badging on the side since this is the off-road package. Now onto the Ram in the back here. So you can see Ram logo on the back, 4x4 limited, dual outlet exhaust just unblown. By the way, the F-Series just a pipe out the side. Got the receiver hitch just right there. Plugins for towing, backup cameras up above, and then you can see again, full LED lights here in the rear, and then it says 4x4 off-road. Ooh, power steps. So we can see the door panel here in the F-150 Platinum. You got this little trim right here, leather, and then you got soft touch up here at the top. Window control, one of the speakers for the sound system. And then we got the seats here in the rear. So Platinum on the back, the seats really soft to the touch. You can see that you've got the cup holders that you just have to do that and they pop right out. And then over here we've got heated seats in the back. You have a couple of your charging stations right there, vents as well, cup holders just up above. Full rubber floor mats that will come with this FX4 package, and yeah. Now, coming to the Ram, again, power deployable steps right there. You can see you've got this nice leather trim at the top, stitching, wood trim, more leather with the embroidering right there, and then more leather as well. So definitely a lot more leather on the door panel. It's one of the speakers for the sound system, which you can see, Harman Kardon. Now, coming over to the seats right here, we can see that they've got nice perforations on them. I will say I like the look of the seats of the Ram more, but the seats on the Ford are actually softer than the seats on the Ram. I will admit that. And then you can see over here, open this up, got nice felt right there, a couple cup holders. And then we've got the cup holders here for the rear passengers, heated and ventilated seats here in the rear. You've got the charging stations, couple USBs right there as well. More embroidering here on the back of the seat with the little map pockets. Got keyless entry here on the Ford, so one touch to lock it and then unlock it. Just gotta slip your hand right there. Now we can see that we've got the panel here on the Ford. This right here, the leather is squishier, if that makes sense, the padding. Okay, anyways, black trim right here. Got the little latch here for the door. All of your window controls and mirror controls are right here, and like I said, the mirrors are power folding. Memory seat controls right here on the side of the door, another speaker for the sound system, and then here are the seats. So it says Platinum at the top of the seats, and like I said, the seats in the Platinum, they just feel a little bit comfier than the seats in the Ram. They're just kind of like the leather is just squishier again. Now you can see that you've got the seat adjustments right there, power adjustable pedals right down below. You've got your parking brake right here, and then these are the controls to the power adjustable pedals. You've got your light controls right here, fog lights, cargo light. These are for the mirror lights, and then the steering wheel is going to be automatically adjustable. One touch to lock it, and then to unlock it, you just have to put your hand on the back of the door handle, and then here is the mirror in the Ram. Now we can open this up. You can see that the running board will pop right out. See the door panel here in the front, so full leather here with the stitching. You've got the leather with the embroidering, wood trim, more leather up above. So like I said, a little bit more leather on the side of the door panel, but it's not as squishy in the Ford. It's kind of like, it's soft, but then it's just like hard, okay? Memory seats right here, all of your window controls with the power folding mirrors. Another speaker for the sound system, which I definitely like the look of the speakers here. And we look at the seats here in the front. So pretty simple setup on them, perforated leather. And again, like I said, the seats in the Ford, the leather feels like the same smoothness, but it's just the seats in the Ford feel a little bit softer than the seats on the Ram. Power adjustments on the side of the seat right there with the lumbar. You got the pedals down below. Power adjustable pedals, your parking brake, light controls right here, your little screen dimmers, and then the steering wheel is actually manually adjustable in the Ram. Now to start up the Ford, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake, push the push button. Built Ford tough! And then yeah, everything will come to life in the interior. So here's kind of like a zoomed out view on the steering wheel. If we close in on it, we can see all of our volume controls on this side. Got our voice commands and phone controls right over there. Cruise control is on the other side. Ford logo in the center. This is for that little center stack, which we'll go over in a moment. Fully leather wrapped steering wheel here on the Ford. We've got kind of like the nice little trim right there. And then on the other side there, that's your stock to flash people with your brights, and then also your turn signal stock. We've got our gauges here, so RPMs on the left side, on the right side you've got your speed, and then you got right there in the center, that just gives you a bunch of different information on the truck, so you guys can see like off-road status, towing status, which I think is pretty cool. And then you got your gauges and all that, so pretty standard setup nowadays with most modern vehicles. Hill descent control, stability control, hazard lights, camera, auto stop start. And then we've got our touchscreen, which again, we'll go over the cameras first. So you can see bird's eye view, front view, more front view. You've got front view with a side view, and then no view. Now, if we pop it into reverse, which I just popped it in neutral, backup camera will pop up with, again, bird's eye view, and then you can zoom in on the receiver hitch. The rest of the stuff on this touchscreen, so you guys can see, pretty straightforward with the touchscreen. The response time on it is actually really good. They recently kind of updated this for 2020 with kind of like the response time. You can see you can adjust the seats from the touchscreen, which is kind of nice. Sorry, the plastic is getting in the way just a little bit, but you saw the navigation function first and foremost. Other than that, pretty standard setup, pretty easy to use. Radio controls right here, so you've got your volume controls, and then you've got your controls for like the whole media center. Climate controls just down below, which we're going to turn this on because I'm getting kind of warm and toasty. Actually, turn it down. But dual zone climate here in the Ford. Heated and ventilated seats for the front passengers as well. You've got this little storage just down below it, so you got a couple charging stations in there, and then if you press it again, ooh, comes back. Here's our shifter for that 10-speed automatic. So you can see that you've got the manual shift mode if you want to shift the gears yourself. That's that M function right there, but pretty easy to use. I like the fact that this shifter, like just how it feels. That's your lane departure assistance. That's your parallel and perpendicular parking assistance. Got some cup holders right here. Got our center console here, so covered in leather, nice stitching, and then we can open it up. Tons of storage space. There's not else much to say, I guess. Not storage space. But you can see over here, we've got just above the glove box, you got some like rubber trim right there. Open the glove box up fully. It has 2 tiers on it, decent amount of storage, and then notice it's kind of like the trim up here with the stitching, all that kind of stuff, just how that looks like on the Ford. So we've got our little sunglass holder right here, power sliding window in the back as well, all of your light controls, full panoramic sunroof in the Ford, universal garage door openers, and other than that, things are pretty straightforward and simple up top. To start up the Ram, just put your foot on the brake, push the push button, and it'll start right up and it'll say limited. Yeah. So here's our full view of the steering wheel. Let's close in on this one. So you can see you've got our cruise control, adaptive cruise control, your gear selector, Ram logo in the center, voice commands right here, and that is for the center pad right there. So we'll go over that in a minute. Materials on the steering wheel. Really nice wood trim, full leather on the steering wheel as well, more wood trim down below. So steering wheel definitely looks and feels really premium. That's your stock right over there for obviously the windshield wipers, and then again, flashing your brights when people drive like morons. We can see the gauges here on the Ram. So they've got kind of like this blue outline around them. RPMs on the left side, speed on the right side, and then you've got that little configurable center stack, which pretty much shows all the same information that the Ford shows. The display just looks a little bit different compared to what's on the Ford. Other than that, though, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward setup. Little charging station up top. You can see we've got a lane departure assistance, hazard lights there in the center, parallel and perpendicular parking assistance right next to it. And then here is the 12-inch display. So climate controls on both sides. You've got radio controls as well, parking sensors, your tow haul mode, stability control, air suspension, trailer brake is integrated right there in that area. And yeah, let's go over the 12-inch display. So first off, let's put it into reverse. So you can see the backup camera that pops up. You can see a bird's eye view, and then I mean there is literally every view pretty much possible. You still can zoom in on the receiver hitch as well. And if we actually go back into that little controls tab, you can see that there's that surround camera, so you can see that just pulls up all those views that you can go. The one thing I am noticing is there isn't like a view on the side of the truck. There's like frontal views and back views and everything, but there isn't like other than the bird's eye view, there isn't like a view on the side like what the Ford has. Rest of the touchscreen, I mean, everyone's been hailing this as the best touchscreen right now in the truck segment. Really responsive, just like in the Ford, easy to use. Got a bunch of different functions on it. There are less analog buttons compared to what the Ford has, so if you like analog buttons, this 12-inch display is not going to be the display for you. You can deploy your steps at any time, which is pretty cool. But still get heated seats and heated steering wheel, and then ventilated seats, which again, we're going to turn those on because it's getting a little toasty. We've got our drive modes right here, so 4-wheel auto, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then you've got your hill descent control and axle lock since this has the off-road package, and then that's your dial shifter to shift through the different gears. The console says limited at the top. If we open it up, we can see felt lined right there. Pick it up, you've got like the little measuring tables in the back. Got a bunch of storage in here with the cup holders, nice wood trim, and then this slides back and forth. You can see there's more storage back there. And then you can see you've got your little CD player, a couple of USBs, wireless charging, full power outlet. And while we're talking about storage, let's go over to the glove box. You can see dual glove box here in the Ram lined with felt. And you can see the wood trim on the outside of it, limited. And then notice like the leather and everything on the dash here in the limited. Up top, we've got the power rear siding window right there. You've got all your functions for the full panoramic sunroof. You've got like your tailgate drop, all the light controls, universal garage door openers. Pretty similar setup to what's up top with the Ford. So yeah, let's go over pricing quickly. So F-150 stickers for about $66,000 before any type of market adjustment. Ram 1500 stickers for about $66,000 before any type of market adjustment. So in essence, you know, MSRP to MSRP, they are the same price. Now, I'm going to leave this one up to a weird sort of tie. So if you prefer a nicer interior, obviously the Ram has a little bit nicer with the interior. However, the Ford, like I said, has the nicer seats, in my opinion, with just how they feel. Tech-wise, they're pretty much identical with all the safety tech, all that off-road stuff as well, since these both have off-road packages. Pretty much the same exterior styling. That is going to be completely up to you guys, which you prefer. Powertrains, the Ford is going to win on the powertrain aspect. It has a little bit more torque, well, actually a lot bit more torque than what the Ram has. Ram has a little bit more horsepower, so, but again, that depends. If you like V8s better, then the Ram's going to win there. So I feel like this one's kind of a little bit of a toss-up with, like I said, Ram definitely has overall, the interior is a little bit nicer with the Ford having nicer seats, and yeah. But I want you guys to let me know which one you think wins in the comment section below. And again, a big shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, and then the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Provo. A link to both of their inventories is going to be in the description below. So if you're in the market for either product from either dealership, check out both of their inventories. If you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe. I'll see all of you in that next video.